All right, this is a video that I'm sharing with you as a parent, first time parent, as you can say, of a going to be 7-year-old daughter. All right. Now, if you don't know, my daughter has ADHD, that is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It's considered a disorder. I don't consider it. My daughter has ADHD. I have ADHD. My mother had ADHD. Okay. Sadly, where I was concerned, uh, that time ADHD was not discovered or invented. So they would describe ADHD as being mischievous, as being, troublemaker, restless. Oh, this boy, how he behaves, the typical. And being born and raised in an Indian family, the only way an Indian parent, or at least the majority, know how to discipline your child or correct a behavior or a bad behavior is through either with a rod or with a hand or with a slipper. They call it, with a slipper you give. However, in my case, my parents were exceptionally violent. My mother, I don't know why she even gave birth to me. My stepfather used to beat me with a rubber cane, which was actually meant for animals like horses and all that. He would keep whipping me at least minimum 30 minutes to almost an hour every session he had until I was battered, bloodied, brutally. I mean, it was so bad that maybe today, if anyone would see that, he would be jailed for life. Actual blood used to come out. You're talking of a 7-year-old boy. That is how violently he used to beat me. I don't know whether he was evil in nature or he had psychological issues, whatever. So that is how my parents dealt with my ADHD. They would compare me to other children, the typical Indian style. Oh, look at that boy. Oh, look at that girl. Oh, how nice they are. They're getting good marks. Look at you. Oh, I wish I had that boy as my son. Why did I get you? Why didn't you? In fact, they would even say this. Why didn't you die when you were born? I should have, killed you when you were born. Mangalorean families, that's how. I don't know if all the Mangalorean families did that or do that, but at least mine, they did. And my grandmother, the bitch died, which I'm very glad. She used to use profanities and bad words. That's how they claim to discipline the child. Anyway, so I was born and raised in a super abusive family. It's lucky that I even made it out alive, let alone be the way that I am. So I was determined not to be that kind of a parent to my child. And when my child was born, I suspected she would be ADHD because it always goes down to the next generation. And right from a very small age, I knew she was ADHD. Why? Because she was super hyper. Even at the age of 4 or 3, she would climb up, like, the shelves, the cupboards, go into empty spaces, climb up metal shelf that we have, go right at the top and hide behind things. And right from the time she would wake up in the morning, she would keep talking and yapping and yap, 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 and she would never stop and ask 100 questions, talk, and even it didn't make sense. Thankfully, my wife is a full time housewife. She positioned herself as her best friend, whom I told her and we agreed upon that we would encourage her to talk. We would encourage her to express herself. We would never tell her, shut up. We would never tell her, like, oh, okay, only I'm the exception because when I'm working, I cannot have my daughter disturb me. That's why I stay in a kind of a studio. Okay. And when I'm making my videos, obviously, I tell my daughter and wife to keep silent. So over the years, we have learned how to deal with her ADHD. But remember, at every step of the way, there were challenges. It was not easy. Like when my daughter went to her preschool, right off the bat, the teacher said, your daughter is the most talkative of the lot. She's the most restless. Like she would run everywhere where all other children were sitting. She would, do her own things when other children were doing something else. She would always go to the teacher. In fact, when my baby went to the village, there's a very old teacher in her 60 plus. She couldn't handle my daughter. She said, "No, no, your daughter is too much. She keeps wanting to come near me, hug me, hold me. I don't like this." So we have faced challenges and we have to deal with it each and every situation. I can't take the side of my child and say to the teacher, "No, you're wrong. You have to adapt." No, my child also had to adapt. We tried our best. But now my daughter is 6 years old, going to be 7 in a few days. And when she joined this new school, it was a new environment, it was new friends, it was new children, it was a new teacher. And obviously, the teacher doesn't know the child. My child doesn't know the teacher. It was a very new experience. And I'll tell you, the first few days, it was very tough. The teacher said my daughter would not listen to her at all. Sometimes, like she would ask her to write on the board or something, she would refuse. She would go and stand in one corner. Actually, she showed us the video that my daughter would stand next to the blackboard. She would not move. Like if she would give us something to write or, to uh, like, 1+1 or numbers or ABCD, my daughter would refuse to write. So the teacher found it very difficult, and they are nice teachers. They don't want to shout or anything. So she called for the mother, and we were informed about it. In fact, I told the teacher, my wife told the teacher to be a little patient. And what happened one day was she had an exam, okay, to show, do you understand, do you learn? So that's how they're able to evaluate. In that exam, there were two A4 size papers. One was with different, drawings of a cat, mouse, dog, sheep, ABCD. You have to write what it is. The other one was 1+1, 1+2, whatever. And in that, my daughter didn't write anything. It was totally like blank. Only one, I think she attempted one. And she had basically failed. And, the teacher wants the parents to be involved and be informed that, yes, your child has failed. I was told about it. My wife came and told me, and my daughter, at first, she was very afraid. She was going to cry, and which I've explained in another video. But for me, you know, uh, if you know me, I don't give that much of importance to academic education. For me, academic education is one kind of intelligence. It is, for example, a fish. Teaching a fish how to climb a tree, the fish will always fail. Teaching a monkey how to swim underwater like a whale, it will never succeed. Teaching a cheetah to drag the weight that an elephant can pull, it will fail no matter what. There's only so much you can push someone. So, in the world of academics or schooling, there's a lot of value given to memorization. You memorize and you regurgitate or you spit it out exactly the way you read it and you're rated. At least that is the Indian system of education. So maybe my daughter is not good for that. So when it was brought up to our notice that our daughter was, getting all these bad marks and all that, I'm don't misunderstand. I didn't congratulate my daughter and say, "Wow, very good." Like some we have nowadays Indian parents who love to just for attention and clout. This boy failed in the exam, so they made him cut a cake and they celebrated with a party. No, that's also wrong. So what I focused on is, okay, my daughter is bad at this, but what is my daughter good at? And right from an early stage, we found, at least we discovered, my daughter is to love scribbling on the wall and drawing on the wall. So we kind of realized she's good at drawing. She likes to draw. She wants to draw. So I made sure that I bought plenty of papers for her, plenty of pens, plenty of pencils. Okay. And she would go through a complete set of A4 size 100 papers, like just like this, because she had so much of creativity that she wanted to explore and just express. And I'm not I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this. My daughter can literally see something like a cartoon figure, and with memory, she's able to actually draw very similar to that, which me and my wife cannot, and nobody trained her. So she's good at drawing. She likes reading books. She likes reading storybooks. Okay. She likes, these games which are there on the iPad and all that. The various games where it involves a lot of skill of jumping and, the typical games which are there. So she's good at a couple of these things and she's very interested in it. Although we make sure that she doesn't spend time on the iPad or the phone because that is an addiction which I don't want. So she expresses it through drawing, through reading, through, clay. She keeps building shapes. She keeps playing with blocks. And we also discovered she loves pets. So I bought sugar gliders, rabbits, hedgehog, all these animals she likes. Okay. And now we found out that she likes swimming. She likes physical activity. She likes, something on the beach. All right. So I know what you will say, like, hey, but this is not studies. I'll come to that. So because we don't force her, okay, like you must do this, or forget everything else. Like how my parents did. Because I was not good at studies, they threw out everything else. There was nothing in the house other than just books of studies. And they shut down my creativity. In my case, I don't know if this is right or wrong. I'm encouraging my daughter to do what she loves, what she likes. And here's the funny thing. Ever since we gave her the avenue to express herself in terms of drawing, coloring, playing games, going to the beach and all that, by herself, now she has started to listen to the teacher. And I forgot to mention this. One day, as she was going, before going, she always does Swadika. She always greets me. So I told my baby, see, listen, you're going to school. Don't disrespect the teacher. Listen to the teacher. Do your homework. And if you do that, then I will take you for McDonald's, or I'll buy you a nice toy, or I'll give you a chocolate. Anyone, you choose one. So my daughter understood. And my wife explained to her, see, Papa said, if you listen to your teacher and you do your homework, then, if Papa finds out, then he'll take you this. Take you, whatever you like. I didn't know whether it would work. My wife didn't know it would work. Here's the funny thing. After she finished school, when my wife went to pick her up, my daughter by herself, she comes to my wife and she tells her, Mummy, today I listened to my teacher, I did the homework, and I was a good girl in class. Remember, my daughter, when she joined, she didn't listen to the teacher, she didn't do the homework, she was not cooperative at all. And we didn't shout nothing. And I told the teacher also not to shout. She came up to my wife and she told her all this. And my wife was, oh, okay. And then to prove it to my wife, I'm not bullshitting with you when I tell you this. To prove it to my wife that she did what she claimed, she grabbed my wife, her mother, and she took her to the teacher to tell the teacher so that the teacher could tell my wife that she was a good girl. And when she went to the teacher looked at her and she said, was I a good girl and all that? When she was telling her, she told my wife, yeah, today your daughter listened. She was listening in the class. She wrote on the blackboard. And when I asked her to write on the paper, even if she didn't know, she asked me and she completed it. All by herself. Huh? None of us forced her. And after that, when she came home, she was so excited. She came running in. Okay, she always comes and greets me first. And she started blurt out, Papa, I listen, teacher, I listen. So, she was speaking too fast with Thai mix in between. So I asked my wife, who came in, said, oh, what happened? Oh, she listened to the teacher today. She did everything. She completed her homework. And she did whatever you asked her to do. I said, okay, okay. And now she's saying that you promised her you'll take her to McDonald's or you'll take her for a toy and all that. So she wants to eat a burger and she wants a toy. And I'll tell you, me and my wife have this philosophy, we have this policy. If we promise a child we'll do something, we will honor it. Not after one day, after 2 days, unless, of course, there's a client or we really can't do it. But immediately after my daughter said, I said, okay, so when you want to go? Because I wanted to let my daughter know, you honored your word, your papa will honor his word. She said, we go now. So my wife suggested to my daughter, she said, can you shower? You shower, you have food, and then we can go. And my daughter willingly agreed. It's not that. If she would say no, trust me, if she would say no, we'll go now, I would have taken her. We went and I took her wherever she wanted to go. It was a little far. We went McDonald's. We went to the shop, bought her coloring. She likes some coloring toy. She likes some stuffed toy, whatever, we got it. And that is how we have maintained our relationship. And now, currently, even though my daughter still has the ADHD, even though she's still distracted, even though she's still hyper, she does her homework every day by herself. She listens to whatever is being requested of her. She, this is the part that will shock you, but she is considered to be the smartest girl in her class because she finishes, like if she's given anything in English, she aces it. And otherwise, she tries to finish among the top 2 or 3 children. And whenever she completes it, she not only informs the teacher, she makes it a point to tell the teacher to inform the mother, so she will inform me, so she can get a reward. So the point which I'm trying to tell you here is, I'm not trying to tell you that, oh, see, my daughter is number 1 in the class or she is great at school. No. Rather, what I'm trying to make you understand is, studies, sometimes can be boring. And most of the time it is. It is boring. Being in class, listening, sitting down for hours and hours can be boring. I don't expect my daughter to have all the skills that other children have. Each child is unique. Maybe one child is good at drawing, other child is good at painting, one child is good at dancing, my child may be good at something else. We need to figure out what is it that our children are good at and champion that. You don't ask a painter to be the best computer programmer. You don't ask the best computer programmer to be a very good accountant. You don't ask an accountant who's world class to be a salesperson. Each one has their skill and interest. Focus on what they're good at. Like I said, I'm not trying to champion myself. Hey, I'm a great father and all that. But what I want you to know is, I was brutalized. I was abused for the very same problem or very same challenge that my daughter had. And because of the vile and evil approach that my parents had, they literally destroyed me. I'm making sure that damage is not done to my daughter. So today, I'm making sure that what was not done right is done right. My daughter has a different kind of intelligence. Maybe she's not good at studying. Maybe she's good at dancing. Okay. Maybe she's good at painting. Or maybe she's good at something. We'll figure out a way what it is, and then we'll try to figure out a way how to commercialize it so that she can earn money through that skill or talent. If someone is good at cricket, which is like a Sachin Tendulkar, or someone is good at tennis, like a Roger Federer, or someone is good at whatever, say acting or movies like Shah Rukh Khan, whatever is their passion, push them that. They may not be the world's best, they may not be the richest, highest paid, but at least they'll be happy. Whether it works or doesn't work for them, whether they make a successful living or whether they're living hand to mouth, that is for later on. So I just want to share this message to all the parents out there. If you have an ADHD child and the child is not good at studies, drilling it into their head and pushing them for extra classes, and as it is they're getting bored, as it is they're not interested, don't make it so terrible for them to go to school. Don't make it so insufferable that school they're getting bored and then you're putting them for more boring extra classes. No. Find out what they love, what they like, what gives them happiness, what gives them joy, like what I do. And figure out a way how to commercialize it in time. Today, my daughter is very good at drawing. I wouldn't say world's best, but she's good. She's good at clay modeling and building things. She's good at physical activities. And somewhere down the line, she's okay with studies. That's fine. For me, as long as she is happy and she is good at all the, I'm not going to encourage her to fail and get the worst marks. No, discipline is required. Obedience is required. You have to discipline yourself. When it's time to study, study. But we incentivize her so that she feels happy to complete the task and at least take interest. That is your responsibility as a parent. And that is all I want to share with you in this video. Please don't physically hurt your child or use words that can hurt them. Because sometimes these words, can destroy them. I still remember all those statements my parents gave me. Those very hurtful words. I've never forgotten them. Don't do that. That's all I want to say through this video. Feel free, comment down below, and I'd love to read what you have to say. You guys take care. This is me signing off.